This must be the tree. The grave must be somewhere nearby. My God. It's clear nobody has been here in years. It looks terrible. I really want to honor Wojta's memory. I should clean the place up first. Pull the weeds, clear the debris, and clean the gravestone. Heavenly Father, you want all to be saved. Open therefore your merciful arms and grant to Wojta, who rests here, with the blessing of the Virgin Mary and all the saints, a share in eternal bliss. And please help the painter. Whatever his name may be. Whatever he did, he surely regrets it. Only you know what happened back then. But surely it wasn't so bad Wojta's soul wouldn't deserve redemption. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. I shouldn't do that. I just prayed here. If I do this, I'll surely go to hell. I reckon I shouldn't tell Wojta about this. It looks like this skeleton is missing its skull. I wonder if...
Are you looking at the moon? What's up? Why don't you go home? Get out! Jesus Christ be praised.
Can I spend the night here?
We're not really equipped for that here.
I'll pay you well, if you let me spend the night here every now and then.
But all I have is an old straw mattress, sir.
That's enough for me, and I'll pay you well. Let's agree on a price.
Good. It was my pleasure to help you, sir.
Do you know someone by the name of Mikush?
Who?
Mikush. The fellow with a nice hat. I heard I might find him round here.
I know who you mean, but I never really spoke with him. You'd be better asking the tavern keeper. Farewell, sir. You've no business here. What the hell is that? That smell wasn't here before. Are you looking at the moon? God be with you. What's up? Are you looking at the moon? Why are you holding a weapon? What do you want? Are you trying to threaten me?
Dick!
Stop! No!
What's that mutt doing?
Hey! Over here! Give him what for!
Mercy! I surrender!
There's no point in resisting.
You picked the wrong target, sharpshooter. Stop bothering me. And get me a priest and a shovel while you're at it.
Shut your... I won't be
Eat shit!
Who's that madman? God be with you. You silly doggy.
I hope Lady Luck will be on my side.
Greetings, friend.
Greetings to you as well. Good day. What would you like?
Greetings, my friend.
Wanted to break in here, did you?
Who just came barging in here?
You can't be here.
Lord be with you.
What's going on around here?
Right now.
Nothing much, really. If you're looking for a job, try your luck elsewhere.
I'm looking for one fella. He's named Mikush.
Mikush? Doesn't ring a bell.
They say he wears a fancy hat.
Ah, the Hatter, of course. He's not from around here.
Get moving.
He started showing up a few months ago. Just for a few days at a time. Sometimes he'd sleep here.
I hear he made his living as a tailor in the village.
I don't know anything about that. He never offered me his services.
I hear he enjoys a game of dice.
He does indeed. He plays a lot.
Quick.
I noticed that about him.
Is he any good?
You're asking too much of me, my good man. People are always playing dice here. Winning and losing. I can't keep up. Ask Chernik. He's the dice champion here. He'll certainly know more.
Clear off. Can't just fall in here.
That bastard!
Off you go, quick!
What are you poking around that door for, huh?
You've no business here. Ouch! Off you go. Quick.
There's something I'd like to know.
Not now. We can talk at the tavern.
I need something from you.
Well, Not now. Are When you I'm at the going? tavern. Away with you.
Greetings.
I feel a lucky roll coming up. Shall we play?
What game would you like to play?
Wagoners.
Let's play! Maybe you're not playing for the first time, but you can't beat me.
People, good people, help out a suffering wretch. Spare a few coins.
God be with you.
Let it be now. I want to play too, you know.
You might even win with that.
Damn
It looks
it.
like you don't even want to play.
They're
The
yours,
last time
lad.
I was watching, a farmer lost
Tell me
his
then,
breeches
what did
and
he
his
give you
boots
for
here.
it?
Sure. I tell you, and you dob me in.
Are you crazy? Why would I dob you in?
Look, just drop it, will you? Gossiping about it won't do anyone any good.
You think I'll blurt it out to the first person I meet?
You have to have a bit of
I
sense
just want
and
to be
count
sure
the dice.
nobody finds you here. You never know.
All right, that'll do. That's as far as I go.
We didn't have such
It's
dice
yours.
when I was young. We shaped them out of clay and played with them. And they were rounded and didn't have any numbers on them.
Fuck that! Rotten
that up
luck!
when you've got it.
Greetings to you.
Why is this all sticky?
God be with you, my friend.
Same to you.
Here we are. Good. Christ, it's hot out.
out.
Good day, sir.
I'm looking for someone.
Filthy.
His name's Mikush.
Mikush? Never heard of him.
I've been told he wears a...
Fancy hat?
Exactly.
I've seen him around here. But I don't see why I should talk to a stranger about another stranger.
The innkeeper told me that you definitely played with Mikush.
Aye. I do like a good game of dice. But I'm not telling you anything else about him.
Why's that?
Because I don't know you. Like me ma always said, never talk to strangers. Come on, let's roll some dice instead.
Listen, Mikush's family is looking for him. His wife and daughter. They're worried about him. They're refugees from Messales, living in a hut in the woods. They've lost everything, now even their provider. Can you live with that on your conscience?
Look, I wouldn't wish ill on anyone. And all right, I do know a bit about him.
Tell me then.
I've known Mikush since the first moment he showed up here to play. Unsurprisingly, the bloke looked like he couldn't count to 5. I thought I'd found an easy mark. But man, was I wrong. He's a great player. And that kind of praise means something coming from me. He knows when to bet everything on the final roll.
So he won a lot?
Aye, for a while. Until his luck ran out. Then he started borrowing. One time he got so desperate, and maybe had a few too many beers, he started going on about his buried fortune in Messales, saying he'd surely pay back anyone who lent him money. Ha!
Did anyone lend him anything?
Aye, and Mikush won everything back.
And did he pay back the money he borrowed?
Of course, every last groschen. He was laughing the whole time too.
What about that buried fortune of his? Did he ever mention it again?
The next day, he claimed he made it all up, saying he just had too much to drink. Only nobody believed him.
Did anyone seem particularly interested in his fortune? Someone who'd want it for himself and would go after Mikush because of it?
Everyone was interested in it, but Mikush never talked about it again. Besides, that village is burned to the ground and full of rabble. Messales is an awful mess. That rhymes!
When did you last see Mikush?
A few days ago. He was playing against that hired hand, Drat. Drat lost and didn't have enough money. They left together, and Mikush hasn't shown up since. That's pretty suspicious now that I think about it. That Drat bloke's an odd duck.
What do you mean, odd?
I've heard he's been dealing with some bandits. You'd better have a word with him. But be careful.
Where can I find this Drat?
Somewhere in the village. I reckon he'll be at the farm he works at. Well, technically, because he's a big fella and looks strong, they made him into something like the village catchpole. But to tell you the truth, he's less a catchpole and more just a regular farmhand pretending to be a catchpole.
Where can I find this Drat?
I already told you. At the farm or somewhere in the village.
I'll go have a talk with Drat then. Thanks.
Don't mention it. And if you ever fancy a game, you know where to find me. Farewell, sir.
I know my luck. Things will start going south now.
Whoa!
Greetings, Judah. Just like you wanted. Greetings.
You're Drat.
Aye, that's me.
Can I ask you something?
Ask away. But do it fast, I don't have all day.
Do you know a fella by the name of Mikush?
I don't know any Mikesh.
Nah, knock it off. I hear you left the tavern together. And no one has seen Mikush since.
Oh yeah, that fella. We were heading in the same direction, but then went separate ways. That's all I know.
You certainly know something about Mikush's disappearance, and you should talk.
Should I? Why's that?
Mikush has a family waiting for him.
What's that got to do with me?
I don't believe in coincidences. Mikush was last seen with you. So that means...
Means what?
It means you should stop dragging it out. What did you do to that poor man?
Me? Nothing, I swear.
So who then?
It's not my fault. It was Hanker.
Who's this Hanker woman?
Hanker's not a woman, but a man. We've known each other for years. He was a hired hand in Messalus. Certainly know what happened there. The horror. Not long ago, he came to see me. Said he was the only survivor from the entire village, but I know that wasn't true.
Because you met Mikush.
I thought he'd be quite happy that someone else got away, but he was actually quite upset about it.
What do you mean, upset?
Well, you could see it on him, all nervous-like. Seemed to me like it was rubbing him up the wrong way. That Mikush, of all people, survived.
Interesting. Did he tell you anything else?
I didn't ask him any more questions.
So, someone comes to see you, acts all odd, and you don't ask any questions? I don't believe you. You must have had a normal conversation, seeing as you're old friends. And he had to have told you something.
Well, I understood he quarrelled with Mikush and his family about some money, a family inheritance. Nothing unique there. It happens in every family, so I didn't pry any deeper. Then he said he'd like to talk to Mikush and whether I could set up a meeting.
Thanks to you, he knew Mikush frequents the tavern. So why didn't he go and find him? To talk with him?
I don't know.
Damn it! Come clean. You must have asked him the very same question. So you know the real reason. Admit it.
Hanker told me he'd joined up with some bandits, so he didn't want to show his face in the taverns. It wasn't so long ago they robbed a merchant here. I reckon he was afraid someone might recognise him.
So he wanted to rob Mikush?
I really have no idea. Hanker didn't tell me. I just wanted to help out an old friend. I didn't know what he was up to. What the hell do I care about some strange fellow with a funny hat, damn it? Hanker told me to take Mikush outside the village and then he'd meet him there. But he said Mikush couldn't know about him, and he left figuring out how to do that up to me. So I played dice with Mikush. He's damn good, so I had no problem losing a few games. In no time at all, I owed him quite a few groschen. I told him I could pay my debt immediately, but he'd have to come with me to my hiding place. He didn't blink an eye. He's damn trusting, given how things are today. I took him a little way outside the village, told him I was going to take a piss, and then took off. And that's all. I don't know anything else.
Where did you take him? I want the exact location.
Here, just outside the village, on the way towards Missalus.
Are you trying to lie again, Drat? Hanker joined up with some bandits. You said yourself he wouldn't dare going anywhere near the village. Unless you want to piss me off, you'll tell me the truth. Now.
All right, fine. It was a bit further away from the village. Actually, it was quite far.
Where were you supposed to take Mikush?
A crossroads by the forest, on the way to Missalus. Actually, almost right by Missalus. A little beyond the woodsman's camp. Just go straight. 2 roads intersect there. It's the only proper crossroads on the way.
What happened at the crossroads? I want the truth.
Well, as I was saying, I took Mikush there and told him I needed to take a piss. Then Hanker jumped out of the woods with some bandits. They grabbed him. He began to scream, but there was no one around to hear him.
And what did you do?
I didn't wait to find out what would happen. I ran.
What did Hanker promise you for bringing Mikush to him?
Nothing. I did it out of friendship.
Are you trying to lie again?
All right. He said he'd give me part of the buried inheritance.
So Hanker wanted to get his hands on that inheritance the whole time?
I reckon so.
He felt the family owed it to him, but I don't understand why.
Family. Skeletons in the closet. You never know.
How long have you known Hanker? Since you're such good friends?
We go back a long way. As youngsters, we'd beat the shit out of each other in the Merciless Tavern. As it often goes, we ended up becoming friends over a beer, you know? But I haven't seen him since I've been working as a catchpole. Not until now, that is.
Well, if you were such good friends, you must know more than you're telling me.
Maybe. But it's not important.
Every detail is important.
So listen up. Hanker always had one big problem. No woman would have him. He's always said it's because he's not rich. But he's just a hired hand. As if a hired hand can't shag. The stories I could tell.
Get to the point.
Last year, his cousin danced with him at a feast. He was like a new man. He wouldn't stop talking about her. Vendula this, Vendula that. As if he was in love with her. And then, all of a sudden, nothing. He never mentioned her again.
Where might Hanker be now?
I only know what he told me. That he ran off into the forest. And that's where he joined up with those bandits. He bragged about how they made him their captain.
I'm not wasting any more time with you. God only knows what Hanker's done to Mikush, and you're responsible for it. Be ashamed. You sold out an innocent man for a handful of groschen. Sickening.
I'm truly sorry.
Well, being sorry won't help. You're a snake in the grass. You deserve punishment.
Please, don't tell anyone. No one can find out.
All right. I won't tell anyone. You have committed a grave sin, but if you show remorse, God will forgive you.
Thank you. I'll never do anything like that again. I swear. I'll pray and go to church and...
Enough already. Farewell, Drat. Have you told me everything? Or are you still hiding something?
I've told you everything I know. Leave me alone now.
Have you told me everything?
I've told you everything. Greetings.
Back to my good child. Go and whistle somewhere else.
Quick! Whoa!
Give me everything. Oh, for fuck's sake! Stop!
What stories?
They say the ghost of a peasant who murdered his entire family is wreaking havoc here. They hung him right here by the road.
Where are you travelling from, merchant?
Gott zum Gruße, Pilger.
Ah, German. Well, I hope you speak a little of our language, or we're not going to get very far.
Nein, no German. I am from Salzburg. Ich bin Anton Stork, Geschäftsmann. I trade in Salt. Salt und Alum. Verstehst du mich?
How's business? Not so good, what with the war and all that, I suppose?
Nein. War is not bad. The prices, they go up. Everybody, they need my Salz. Risiko ist Profit, mein Freund.
Ah, so the war is good for you, is it? But what if you get robbed?
My protection is good. Sigismund, he gives me safe passage. Verzichtete sogar auf den Zoll. Verstehst du?
I thought you said Sigismund waived your duty.
Ja. Sigismund is good king. He know trade is important.
The damned injustice. You're turning a profit while our people's houses are burning to the ground, aren't you?
Was? Ich verstehe dich überhaupt nicht. I not understand.
Yeah, well, I don't really understand you either.
Was?
But I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't trust Sigismund if I were you. He's a bloody scoundrel.
Ja. Das ist eine schwere Zeit. Zoll, Gebühren, Schmiergelder. Dieses Land ist beschissen. Aber das kann man nicht verstehen.
Look, Anton, this is getting us nowhere. Have you got anything to sell? Trade. Understand?
Zu verkaufen? Oh ja, natürlich. Bitteschön.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Was soll's? Warum nicht? Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Thank you, sir. And come on.
I'll have a look at the wares.
heard about the price.
Das könnte vielleicht gehen. Sehr gut. I can agree to that. Danke. Das war ein gutes Geschäft, mein Herr.
What do you have for sale? I'd like to discuss the price.
Das könnte vielleicht gehen. Ja, das ist gut. Finally a good price. Danke und viel Glück für die Zukunft, mein Herr.
Christ, what a day.
blood. Quite a lot of it, too. Looks like they dragged that poor wretch further. I'll have to find out where. That must be Mikush's hat. It looks like it fell off when they dragged him into the woods. I have to find out which way they took him.
Did he get out of him what he needed? He did. Hey, we'll be fine. It's not our fault. We can't get that through to hang him. Should have kept a closer eye on him.
Suck my cock!
Attack! Everyone, get over here!
Fuck! Christ!
Christ. He's on his last legs. Let's have a look then. The burns look ugly, but something tells me they aren't the main problem. The stab wounds are worse. They're red at the edges, and they're hot to the touch. I think this wound is infected. We ought to do something about it. At the very least, clean and bandage it. Maybe a potion would help him. Something healing. That works fast. The better quality it is, the quicker he'll get better. Maybe some herbs would help him. Medicinal ones. They help with healing. If I place them on his wounds and dress them, he could get some relief. I've seen enough. I'll take another look at him. I've seen enough. I think I know how to help him. I'll get him through this. I hope I can act fast enough. What are we gonna do with you? I'll pray for you. At least your soul will get some relief. How does it go again? All praise and glory is yours, Lord our God, for you have called us to serve you in love. Bless Mikush, so that he may bear this illness in union with your son's obedient suffering. Restore him to health, and lead him to glory. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. I shall clean that wound first. This'll sting a bit.
Ah! That hurts!
The wound is clean. That should stop the pus from forming. I ought to put herbs on that wound. But I won't do that now. I'll be back. Now it's time to try herbs. They could help you a lot. I have just the thing for this.
Ah?
Right. The wound is clean. You should be feeling better soon. I should bandage it for you. I'll just wrap it tight. There we are. I'll give you a healing potion. I'm sure it'll help. This one should do the trick. Drink up. That's all. I'm sure he'll pull through. Mikush?
Who are you?
Henry. But that's not important now. What happened here? Why did they torture you?
I buried inheritance. I told Hanka that the only person who knows where our inheritance is buried is Svatava. And then he burned me. So much pain. I told him where he could find her. My God, he took his men and headed out for her. To the hut. You have to save them. Hurry. I'll follow you. Don't wait for me. Their lives are in danger.
Go! Whoa!
20 years. 20 long years. It's not
fault. That's the decision your mother made. Or about our father's decision. Mikush and me were on your side.
bollocks. You let us eat shit. And you and your little tailor just watched us doing it.
Put that thing away!
It's all your fault. You forced me to do it.
Got him!
We stood by and watched for 20 years. 20 long years.
It's not my fault. That's the decision your mother made. Or about our father's decision.
It's all your fault. You forced me to do it. Come on.
We stood by and watched for
Let her go immediately.
take another step, and I'll slit her throat.
I know what you're after. You want that buried fortune. The inheritance.
What do you know about that? You talk.
Nothing else at all. But if it's only money you want, no one has to die.
Are you yanking my pizzle? I'm really gonna finish her off.
Let her go. We can talk this over. It's not your fault what you've done. You've gone through horrible things.
What could you know about that?
Believe me, I know. You're horribly angry and you can't control yourself. But no one else should suffer because of that. Talk to me. Peacefully.
Peacefully. All right. We'll do it your way.
Praise be to God.
Look, I know it doesn't look good, but I was in the right. The money they hid, it belongs to me. It's my inheritance.
Yours? That's not what I've heard. It's their inheritance.
Lies! All lies! They had no right to take it. From me and my poor mother. My grandfather, old Svotosh, was rich. He worked the fields all around Mercedes. He built a beautiful house. He had many children, but only 2 daughters made it into adulthood. Svatova and my mother, Ludmila. When he was dying, he fucked my mother over and gave the house and all his money to Svatova and that tailor of hers.
To disinherit his daughter like that. It's strange to say the least. Did he have a reason to do that?
Reason? Svatosh hated my father. He was just your average poor commoner, but that wasn't good enough for his high and mighty self. Svatova and Mikush got married off in Kutenberg at the church of St. Peter and Pavel. But did they invite my parents? I was still little, but I remember he treated us like dirt. And not just him. We barely had any proper food to eat. Pa had to go work in the mines at Horsham for a few groschen. He ended up trapped under rubble there. He died a cripple. After that, no one even moved a finger to help us. Not Svatova, not Mikush, no one.
You're damn lucky I came in time to help, Mikush. Things might have ended up much worse.
I only wanted justice. Nothing more.
Tell me one thing. How did you survive what happened in Messales?
Dumb fucking luck, I reckon. That band of despicable cutthroats. Once they made their way into the courtyard, all hell broke loose. Tried to defend ourselves, but everyone but me fell. So I fled to save my brother and mother. But it was too late. Everything was burning. I took off running and didn't stop until I was deep in the forest.
No matter what you've done, I must admit, I feel sorry for you. I know well what you went through. Your family? What happened to them?
No one survived. No one was expecting it. Once the soldiers entered the village, there was no escape. Their captain got his eye on my brother, who worked with me in the courtyard. Franz was barely 15. He didn't stand a chance. I ran out to the fields for Ma, but they got there first. All I could hear was her screaming. And then it stopped. I lost everyone. But Svatova and Mikush didn't.
I'm sorry, but your misfortune gives you no right to harm others. How did you join up with the bandits?
My first night out, I slept under a tree. I was starving. So I went out hunting for mushrooms, but then I saw a fire. It was that gang. Captain Loiser was their leader, a big fella. They said they'd let me join if I beat him in a fight. So, I beat him. And they made me their leader.
What about Loiser?
They buried him in a glade.
I reckon that was no great loss.
I don't know. We didn't really get to know each other.
Drat told me you were attracted to Vendula.
That's not true.
Don't lie. I hear she danced with you. And you were over the moon.
I wasn't. Just... Not so many girls dance with me.
Because you're just a hired hand?
Well, she's my cousin. So I wasn't head over heels for her or anything. No way. I mean, who want me anyway?
I get it. You're alone and desperate. It's sad not to have someone by your side.
You're right.
But believe me, there is someone out there for everyone. It's God's will.
You think so?
Certainly. Try and pray more. And visit the baths. That's important.
I wish I heard that earlier.
But it's never too late to change, believe me. Look at me. I'm just an ordinary village boy.
You might be right.
If you felt aggrieved, you should have found another way. Violence solves nothing.
That's the first time I've heard that. You don't exactly look like the type of man that would avoid, say, torturing an enemy. Or am I wrong?
I need to have a good reason to get violent.
Are you saying I didn't have a good reason?
In any case, you should apologise. You put them through hell.
I won't apologise to anyone. They had a guilty conscience because of what they did to me. If they shared just a bit of their wealth, nothing would have happened to them. But they didn't. They fucked up my life. I'm poor and alone.
Enough talk.
Be reasonable. No one died in the end.
I said enough talk. I know how to end this whole unfortunate situation. Take what I said about rectification to heart and leave here in peace.
Very well. I was getting sick of the bandit life anyway. You'll never see me around these parts again. I swear. Farewell.
Hey, Hanka!
I'm going.
I have no idea.
That fella told him to leave.
I don't get it.
Hey, Hanka! Hanka, talk to us! Hanka, wait!
Henry will take care of that.
There's so many of them.
Don't worry. He'll handle it.
You both all right?
My sweet Vendula, did he hurt you?
I'm all right, Ma.
Thank God. Thanks for the rescue, Henry. And what about my husband? Did you find him?
I did. Hanka was keeping him in his camp. He was nearly a goner. But I managed to treat his wounds.
His wounds? My God. What did those bastards do to him?
They didn't treat him nicely, that's for sure. But he'll tell you himself. He's on his way back now.
Hanka, that bastard. I hope he'll pay for all his crimes.
I'll let him go.
For God's sake, why? A bastard like that? He's a bandit. He'll hurt someone else. You should have killed him on the spot.
Hanka didn't end up killing anyone.
Oh, stop talking nonsense. Every criminal deserves a just punishment. And I thought seeing my own home burned to the ground was the worst thing.
We've gone through a lot, Ma. So much suffering. We have to leave this place.
Get as far away as possible, as soon as possible.
Wait. Did you hear something?
I don't hear anything.
There! Again! Someone's outside. Jesus! It's those bandits! There must have been more of them.
Ma, take it easy. I don't hear anything.
Henry, go and have a look.
Oh, it's not the bandits. Look who's come home.
Mikush!
Pa!
You made it here quickly.
I came as fast as I could. I nearly gave up the ghost. I was so worried about the two of you.
I'm so glad you survived. That horrible hunker tried to kill us.
I know. All because of the inheritance. He went absolutely mad.
If it weren't for Henry, he'd have killed Vendula. And then me.
That lunatic. Who would have guessed that about him? He used to be a good lad.
After all that, Henry let that good lad go.
Well, let's hope he never shows up here again. I'm awfully knackered. I need to lie down for a bit. Will you help me?
Of course, Pa. Come and rest inside.
I reckon you're hungry too. Vendula, give him some gruel. It should still be warm.
All right. Come on, Pa. Carefully.
And the two of us should have a word.
How is he?
Not well. He needs to rest.
What about you?
Not so good either. I'm still trembling. In any case, thanks for the rescue. Who knows what Hanker is capable of? That is, if he doesn't come back.
What's the story with your inheritance?
I didn't know anything about what Hanker was so angry about. Nothing about any disinheritance or quarrels. Or do you mean how Ma buried it? Aye, I saw her taking everything of value from the house and loading it onto a handcart. But honestly, I just thought it was another of her whims. But I couldn't have been more wrong.
Was Hanker entitled to the inheritance?
Who knows? He was always just a strange cousin to me. We'd greet each other, but that's all. I never could have expected what someone like him is capable of. When he goes mad.
What about that one time you danced with Hanker?
What about it?
I hear he sort of fell for you after that.
That's not true. And if it was, what do I care?
I think that by dancing with him, you were making fun of him. Isn't that right?
Making fun of him? Why would I do that?
Because you wanted to put on a show for your friends from the village. Because you knew Hanker's not right in the head, so you did it on purpose. And you nearly paid for it with your life and the lives of your family.
Aye. The girls kept tagging me on to do it. To ask the ugliest bloke there to dance.
So it was just a stupid dare.
If only I'd known I was only adding fuel to the fire. My God. Just lie still, Pa.
Ugh. I'm so tired.
Rest. It'll be all right. What hurts?
The wound.
The angel of the Lord declared unto Mary, and she conceived of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, and Mary said, Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord.
What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to thank you for everything. You saved our entire family.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
As you might have figured out, everything that happened was all because of our inheritance, which I hid from the soldiers in Messalis. I understand you've done everything you can for us, but I wanted to ask if you could go and get it for us. You're a strong, capable man, and you don't scare easy. And it'll be worth your efforts. Trust me.
All right, I'll look for it. But you'll have to tell me where I'll find it.
Listen, I'll tell you everything. My memory's not as good as it once was. Our house is the third one on the right when you follow the main road towards Visoka. Anyone entering the village goes by our house. Must have been about 2 days before the tragedy. The neighbor boy ran over and started yelling about how something was coming, that he'd heard it from the patrol on the road. No one believed him, not even his pa. After all, why would soldiers attack a monastery village, one far from their camp? It didn't make any sense. That night, though, I had a strange dream. I tried to put out a fire, but the more water I poured on it, the bigger the flames got. So I decided to hide all our valuables. Only I couldn't do it during the day. I was worried someone would see me. I put all of it in a chest, loaded it onto a handcart, and waited till nightfall.
Continue.
When night fell, I snuck out the back of our house with a handcart, making my way through the hole in the fence next to the compost heap. Mikush was supposed to fix that hole a long time ago, but as good as he is with a needle and thread, well, when it comes to other work, you can forget about it. At least it made things easier for me. First, I headed right. Then I turned left, up the path, around the neighbor's barn. It's outside his fence. I had to stop there because the neighbor's little brat was still awake and wandering around. Fortunately, he didn't see me. So I kept going past a low wall where 2 paths cross. There, I went left. Once I was safely out of the village, a dog started barking at me, so I had to pick up the pace. Instead of turning right down the path, I went straight into the field there. That handcart was damned heavy, and it was rough going off the path. I crossed the field, making it to the woods, but the wheel got stuck there. I couldn't go any further, and it was pitch black. I lit a lantern and dug a pit to fit that chest. Took me forever. When I was done, I could barely walk straight. The sun was coming up. I left the handcart and shovel there and went back the way I came. I hope those directions are good enough for you to find it.
Why did you do all that work yourself? Why didn't your husband help?
The fewer people know about it, the better. I didn't want to leave anything to chance.
That's all I need. I'll go and find your inheritance. What's the story with your inheritance?
My father, old man Svatos, was quite wealthy, at least compared to the rest of the village. You see, he worked all fields and farms around here. He had 9 children, but only me and my younger sister Ludmilla made it into adulthood. And then, when he died, he left everything to me. He wanted to be sure, because with Ludmilla, he was worried she'd blow through all of it.
Why did your father disinherit Ludmilla?
She was quite flighty. She liked to have a good time, if you know what I mean. She was never without a man. Then she brought this hired hand home. Fanos was his name. She had to marry him, as she was in the family way. Svatos threw her out of the house without a second thought, heartlessly. And he never mentioned her again.
Why didn't you help Ludmilla then? Hanka said you didn't care about them. That you left them to starve to death.
That's not true. I offered to help her. I found her a job, but it was in vain. She was mad. Sometimes something came over her, like she was possessed. It was frightening, and it got worse and worse. It seems Hanka has inherited it from her. Those aren't the kind of people you let live in your house.
Why didn't you help Hanka at least? He lost his father after he got hurt in the mines. He must have been desperate.
Fanos? A miner? Where did you hear that? He never stepped foot out of the village. He drank so much, he lost his job and then fell off a cliff at Simperk. He's a common swindler. And he's delusional, just like his lunatic mother. I hope our paths never cross again.
How did Svatos become so wealthy?
He was a good farmer. When he was young, he worked on a big farm somewhere near Colleen and worked his way up from the bottom to become the custodian. But it's no coincidence he ended up in Mezoles. He was close with the old custodian of the Sedlets monastery. They were friends. Sometimes you've just got to meet good fortune halfway.
What did he do with such a large inheritance?
What do you think? I took care of it the way Pa wanted, so our Groshen didn't just roll away from us. So our Vendula would have a good life, a good dowry, and a good husband. At least someone as good as my Mikush.
What are you going to do now?
I hope that inheritance brings us back the happiness we've lost. I hope our suffering ends soon, and we'll see better days again.
I'd like to know more about Meseles.
Those are sad memories.
You know, I've been through something similar. Sigismund's army burned down my hometown. Skalitz.
My lord! Thank God you managed to save yourself.
Unfortunately, very few of us were so lucky. My ma and pa stayed behind.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What would you like to know, Henry?
I know reliving it isn't easy, but I'd be interested to know how the attack unfolded.
Like I said, we were prepared for it, unlike the others. The soldiers came from the main road. First the horsemen. They cut down anyone who stood in their way. Then came the first flaming arrows, and the roofs began to burn. The horsemen then stormed the farm, and that's all I saw. May God save the souls of those innocent people.
You said you were prepared, so someone warned you?
I already told you, Henry. A few days earlier, the neighbor boy was shouting about how he had heard something was going to happen. And then, I had the strange dream. So I decided to get ready, just in case.
Did you know where you'd flee to?
I did. I remember this old hut by Billiny. A long time ago, the Lord's huntsman and his family lived there. When the forest fell under the ownership of the monastery, he had to move out. It was empty for years, and now it's our home.
What was Meseles like before all this? Was it a big village?
I wouldn't call it big. Maybe back in my father's day, but not in recent years. As more and more silver started coming out of the mines, people moved to work in Kutenberg. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nobody left to work in the fields soon. But what can you do? That's a question for the custodian. And there's no reason to ask now anyway.
Was there anything peculiar about Meseles?
What do you mean?
Well, something worth looking for, I mean. Something the soldiers might have wanted.
They didn't attack us for our buried inheritance, that's for sure. They came for food and plunder. Though, on second thought, I heard something about a mysterious cave that's supposedly beneath Mezoles. But I reckon that's just an old wives' tale.
I'm going for the inheritance. I hope it's still there.
I'm sure it is. No one would ever think to look where it's hidden. Me, Vendula, and Mikush will wait here for you.
Be still, Pa. Everything will be fine.
I feel terrible.
This is where Mikosh's family lives. It's a pretty big house for 3 people. I reckon they had a lot to be jealous of. This is where Svatova took the hand cart onto the meadow. The inheritance can't be far. What is it, Mutt?
You silly doggy.
I was in Merciless and followed your instructions.
And? Did you find it?
The chest was buried by the forest, exactly where you said. Next to the handcart.
My God! Thank you for everything. Vendula! Mikush! Henry has returned, and he found our inheritance.
Finally! Some good news.
Don't keep us waiting, Henry. Let's see what you have for us.
Here's everything I found.
Fabric, Groshen, and our ancestor? Nothing's missing.
This fabric's as good as new. Think of all the money this will make.
Finally, fortune smiled upon us.
It surely has. I told you that once our ancestor comes back to us, everything will be like it once was. Thank you, Henry. Here's something for your efforts. If you ever feel like learning something new, Mikush here would be glad to teach you.
So he teach me to play dice, eh?
You can't learn dice. You have to have it in your blood.
That's not what I meant. He's a tailor by trade, so he can show you how to mend your clothes.
I reckon I could. Stop by, Henry. I'll find time for you.
God be with you, neighbour.
Greetings to you.
I see you're on your feet. You feeling better?
Thank God Vendula took care of me. So I'm feeling much better. Thanks for asking. I reckon it'll be a while before I dance again. But no matter. At least I can still hold a needle and thread.
Before I forget, I found your hat. Here it is.
My hat? I thought I'd never see it again. I made it myself. It's the latest Italian style. You won't find another one like it. Thank you very much, Henry. God be with you, and have a pleasant evening.
I'm sorry.
I visited Voita's grave. It was in a rough state, all overgrown and unkempt. But I tidied it up and said a prayer for his soul.
Thank you, Henry. And did you mention me as well?
Yes. I prayed for you as well.
Thank you very much. I feel terrible for not going myself, but I promise I'll visit when the right time comes.
Tell me more about Voita and Libor.
Nothing but bad memories come to mind. We used to spend a lot of time together. But as we got older, it all started to fall apart. I devoted myself more and more to my painting, and Libor, as the son of a bailiff, dealt with his father.
Wait, Libor is the son of a bailiff?
Aye, but it doesn't matter much these days. His mother died shortly after he disappeared, and his father, who knows where he ended up.
Did Libor know you paint? He only shrugged his shoulders when I mentioned a painter.
To tell the truth, I never discussed it much with him. I'd shown Voita some sketches, but Libor, all he cared about were girls. Oh, and swords. He grew up at Rathouse, so he saw soldiers and knights differently than us paupers.
What about Voita? What was he like?
He didn't have anyone besides us. And then Burkhard showed up. Voita was never a saint. Sometimes he stole food, got in scraps here and there. But Burkhard changed him completely. Suddenly he didn't have time for us. And when we did meet up, he was always telling us how he robbed some traveler here or beat up some old woman there.
But I still don't see how this is your fault.
I envy you, then. You see, Voita wanted to spend time with us. He was always inviting us somewhere, but we, or I, rather, would hear none of it. All I cared about was my painting, and Voita was just wasting my time. We got in an awful argument over it once. We were both drunk then. Voita on schnapps, and me on my pride.
How did the argument end?
I don't recall what all was said. You know how it is. You get in an argument with someone, and the next day, you can't remember what you said. I do remember one thing, though. I said, there's no room in my life for dirty, drunken thieves who blow smoke up Burkhard's arse.
Then what happened?
Well, we wanted to get rid of Burkhard. We were going to go through Libor's pa, but we met with Voita first. We told him to pack up his things in Burkhard's camp and meet us at the tree. But, well, when we got to him, he was just lying there. We had to chase off the wolves that were, well, Voita was in an awful state, beaten to death with a helmet.
Kurva.
We chased off the wolves, but Libor was inconsolable and wouldn't stop crying. So I sent him to the village to get a shovel. While he was gone, I realized Voita was still breathing. He was in awful shape. He couldn't talk or move. Lord, have mercy on me. When Libor returned, I told him to give me his sword, but he said no, that we could still save him. We got in a terrible argument over it. In the end, it was Libor who put Wojta out of his misery. Then we buried him. Not in hallowed ground, but still better than behind the cemetery wall.
Do you think Wojta betrayed you?
If he had, we'd probably end up the same as him, even after everything I said to him. I believe he never betrayed us. All right, but now tell me, wasn't it all my fault?
We are each the author of our own destiny. Wojta joined up with Burkhard, and it cost him his life. What's important is where your decisions lead you.
I hope you're right, Henry. I hope you're right.
I suppose I should admit, I took a look in the grave.
What?
I dug it up and noticed the skull was missing. So I thought that maybe...
You dug up the grave I sent you to pray at.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to have a look.
At what? To see if he's actually dead? Or if he has something on him you could sell?
I don't know. I just happened to have a shovel and... well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
You know, I don't want to discuss this with you anymore. Now let me work. Come back tomorrow. Now please leave me be. I need some time to process what you've done. Come back tomorrow. And let's never speak of this again. Now please leave me be. I need some time to process what you've done. Come back tomorrow. And let's never speak of this again.